Welcome to the High Level People Podcast with your host, PJ Crescenzo. This is the show where every week we go inside the minds of modern market leaders. I'm talking world-class operators, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, people who are making an impact on ministry. The question is, if you're going to compete, why not compete at the highest level possible? And that's what this show is designed for, to give you a playbook for your life so that you can continue to climb levels week after week. This is the High Level People Podcast, and welcome to today's episode. Welcome to the High Level People Podcast. Today, I have one of my favorite people in the lending industry. I have Amir Syed, who we were just talking about, went from 0 to 100 in terms of influence, grow and go coaching, having a massive impact on some of the most elite originators in the country. Also is a God-fearing man, a family man, somebody who's committed to selling without selling your soul, which I absolutely love. So Amir, welcome to the High Level People Podcast.
PJ3, baby, let's go.
Come on. Come on, brother. I love it. All
Thank you
right.
for
So
having
we
me,
were
man.
just talking before I hit record about your journey. And I know you got a couple different chapters, from working with your pops to cold calling to originating to running branches to being in leadership. Like you got a very decorated career in terms of being in the trenches and lending. But talk about the recent journey of having this new business concept and wanting to make an impact in the coaching space. Of what did that journey like from having an idea to implementation to having, 1,000+ people show up at an event?
Well, dude, thank you for having me on, man. First and foremost, we got connected on IG, LinkedIn, and I love that you messaged me, man, because I love when salespeople just have courage to reach out. Like, dude, today I voice noted a huge guy on Instagram. And I was like, he's not gonna write back. He wrote back. I was like,
Let's
wow,
go.
yes.
Let's
And
go.
I just love how you reached out to me, dude. I'm a sales guy, and I think being shy is expensive, man. You got to ask for what you want. So
Oh, that's
I
the
love
first
that I'm.
bar right there. Being
Yeah,
shy
okay.
is
Let's.
expensive.
It is, man. It really is, dude. Like I never would have met my wife if I was shy. I
Yep.
never would have had my house. It's just it can go on and on and on, man. So we're here. It's a new friendship. You have this podcast, and I hope your listeners here will get a few things of life-altering impact. And to start with, your question, which I think it will. I come from nothing. Many people know my story, right? If they don't, I'm an immigrant. I left Iran with my mom and dad in 1985. From 1980 to 1988, Iraq invaded Iraq after the 1979 Iranian Revolution, when the Shah of Iran was overthrown. And so, in a matter of a year, the whole country went just completely upside down, right? And so then they got invaded. 8-year war, a million people died in that war. Most of them were Iranians.
Wow.
And we were right in the middle, 1985, bombs going off, and my parents were like, we got to get out of here. So I'm 5 years old. Now I got a 4-year old daughter, and I think, how in
Wow.
the world did my parents take off? Like, I couldn't even imagine, dude, like going to a whole new country. So they left with me. They left their entire immediate extended family. They went to London. That's where the nearest relative was, but they couldn't find work. It was too expensive. Then they had another distant relative in San Francisco, got their visa approved, and they went to San Francisco. San Francisco is another expensive city. My mom couldn't get a job at McDonald's. And so then, we had a friend in Chicago that says, I'll sign you guys in an apartment and I'll put you guys up. So we lived in a 500 square foot apartment, just my mom and dad and I. I didn't speak English. My dad was a shoe salesperson making $3.75 an hour in 1985. That was the minimum wage back then, give or take. And we moved 4 or 5 times, one apartment to another apartment. I went to different schools. I can't even imagine my daughter, man, now that I'm a dad, like moving into different countries,
How much does your
schools.
daughter impacted the appreciation you have for your parents? Like, has that shifted your relationship with them having your daughter?
Yeah, it my daughter has made multiple levels of impact for me in my life, man. And
Mm.
I think with my parents, that's the only grandchild. I had our child late when I was 40, and so, that wisdom, you're never really fully ready for it, but it very much so has crystallized the plight, the immigrant plight, from a war-torn country, and how much sacrifice parents can make, and so, we finally settled in Chicago. I'll fast forward the journey. I was never, I had a lot of emotional scars, a lot of chip on my shoulder because I got bullied a lot. We weren't really well off up until like later in life. My dad did really well in business, but I always had this like inner fire that I didn't channel
Mm.
the right way, PJ, for a long time. It came out in the wrong ways, right? Like
Mm.
aggression and fighting and things like that. But then I always found solace in work. My dad had a small business,
Mm.
and so I did terrible in school. I couldn't sit in class. Till this day, if you're ever at a conference with me, my closest friends know I cannot sit in the chair. I'm in the back. I pace like I don't know, man. Like I can't listen. I can't pay
You got
attention
stuff to
sitting
get
down.
done, bro. Come on.
Yeah, for like 20 minutes. I never did well in school, right? So my dad would bring me to business every Saturday. He had a small car dealership, right? And I always joke, Iranian people, if you're Iranian, you're listening to this, or you're Indian, like either you end up like a rocket scientist, a doctor, or an attorney, or you're like selling cell phones. You're like there's no in between, you know. So my dad was like selling cars, you know what I'm saying? So he was like, you have a 1.7 GPA in school, you're gonna get a 4.0 street GPA.
Let's
So he
go.
brought me to work at like 10, 11 years old every Saturday, man. It's
Dude,
wild.
what a
That's why I don't know
gift.
it.
And that's probably one of the
Yeah.
greatest gifts you're ever given, getting
Oh,
exposure to
dude,
business like
it
that, really.
it really was, man. So I went to his dealership. I learned how to detail cars, buff cars, how to run credit reports.
Mm.
All these little things, man. Start the cars in the morning, make sure there's no check engine lights on, like all these things. And then eventually how to sell cars. I learned how to say hi, how are you in 22, 23 different languages and perfect enunciation. Because I learned rapport building is likability. So, Chicago is very diverse. So we had all different
Mm.
ethnicities come in. And so I learned from my dad. I would watch how he'd say, "Ce faci, cum ești" to Romanians, right? Or like "Ni hao" to the Chinese community, or
Mm.
like, "Tikani skala" to the Greeks. I'm like, man, my dad is so smooth. People will light up. They're like, oh my God, you know my language right off the bat. So I learned how
Mm.
to do that. Fast forward, I'm barely graduating high school. Some really powerful man loved me, loved my parents, graduated me, drop out of college, get into the mortgage business. I'm cold calling 300 people a day, end up becoming the number one cold caller in the country. And I always say, because I got that swag, you bring me anybody in any company, you put me on stage and let me battle them on a
Come
live cold
on.
calling session, I'm coming out on top. That's
Come
how
on. Who
sick with it
had
I am.
Did anybody have equivalent impact in your lending career that your dad had on you getting in the trenches of car sales? Was there anybody that came along the path that you would put in that, Hall of Fame mentor impact space, or is your dad in a league of his own?
Well, my dad is the top of the top, right? I mean, my greatest mentor is God, right?
Amen.
Like so he's my best friend. He's my mentor. Like that's no doubt. My father is like, man, I don't know where I'd be without him. I think along the journey, I've had many mentors. I think my first job, I always got to give a shout out to Kevin Taylor, right? He taught me how to cold call,
Mm.
right? He legit said, dude, this is not going to be glorious, but if you master this skill, you will never go hungry. If you can learn how to sell over the phone without any body language or facial expression, he goes, if you can master this, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. So I watched him. He put me in the pit with some of the best guys. And I learned the P30, perfect 30-second intro, tonality, how to strategically stutter, how to have a low FM voice, how to have a Mickey Mouse curiosity tone, right? And then I added my own obsession to it and I got really, really good, man. Right. And so he was huge for me. And then other people have come along at different stages that I needed. But to answer your question at the beginning, 4 years ago, I was really focused on doing $1 billion in production in the mortgage business.
Yep.
Right. I set this bar and I said, I'm gonna go get that. Right. I said, I'm doing 150, 200 million. Like I can do this. I'm a good business person. I know how to sell. I know how to market. I know how to scale. Right. And God works in funny ways, man. Like, there's an old Russian proverb, you tell God your plans and he laughs at you. And it's so true
Hmm.
because I'm like, this is what I'm doing, right? And then out of nowhere, opportunity came across for me to coach. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. And then I coached one kid, I changed his life. And then I realized, because when I give, PJ, I forget. When I
Mm.
get, I remember. So
Mm.
people came to me and said, dude, these are a long line of people in your career that you naturally coached, that you've taken them from 0 million to 100 million. I'm like, oh my God, these are all the people, right? They're like, you have a gift, brother. God has given you a gift, right?
Mm.
Don't squander it. So I said, let's go ahead and do it. And then it just like went off like brush fire. Because all I did every day, PJ, is I went on Facebook. I picked one platform. And I said, I'm going to post every single day and I'm not going to break the chain. Jerry
Mm.
Seinfeld, famous comedian, has a break the chain concept. They asked, how'd you become such a great comedian? He goes, I wrote a joke every single day and I never broke the chain. And I said, oh my gosh, that's who I am as Mr. Consistency. I said, I'm going to write one piece of content every single day that's going to educate loan officers. I did that every morning at the exact same time at 8 a.m. And I would just give value. And I started to be known as Amir's free shit is better than everyone's paid shit. So people were yearning for abundant minded, credibility based
Come
loan
on.
officer that would give them tactics without jail keeping anything and not needing anything in return. So I started doing that every day. I'm like, here's exactly how I did 100 million and what I did every day. Boom. Here's exactly what you say to a realtor here. It's exactly what you do. It was just hit after hit after hit after hit after hit after hit. My audience blew up because everybody was afraid. Everyone
How long did the
subscribed.
drought period look when you first started posting and you were, and maybe you were having that battle with yourself of, is this going to work? Or maybe you didn't. I mean, I would love to know your mentality. Have you gotten to a place of mental maturity where when you pick the target, you're just blowing through it? Or do you still have that spiritual warfare of, is this going to work? Am I doing the right thing as you're posting every morning, 8 a.m.? Like, what's your mentality when you just start dropping value and you're on, month one of the journey?
It's very interesting you just asked me that. I shot an IG reel this morning at my desk in my pajamas, and I talked about that very concept, right? People want to see, they don't want to see all the makeup and highlights no more, man. They want to see
Mm-hmm.
people on the real element, you know?
Yep.
And so I'm okay with that, dude. What I mentioned this morning, PJ, in that reel was I said, every stage of my life that I've wanted to pursue something, it's been viciously painful. And when I wanted to learn how to cold call, my first day I went home after cold calling, I cried in my bed in my pillow. And I go, I know that sounds really bad to say, but I go,
But it's
that shit
real.
happened. It was
Yeah,
real,
it's
man.
real.
I said I went from a 300 dial to one application ratio. But I said, you know what? I'm just gonna do the reps. I said, that's
Mm.
all I can control. I go, well, shit, man. I don't think there's any type of prejudice or discrimination from the sales gods. I go, if it's hard for me, it's hard for everybody. I go, well, my
Bro, that right
competitive
there.
edge,
If it's hard for me, it's hard for everybody.
it's
That's
hard
why
for
I'm just
everybody. I'm
finding
like,
peace.
yeah, man. And I'm like, okay. So let me just do the reps, right? The reps is what's gonna get me to have the advantage. But I go, I got to do the right reps. I have a saying, man,
Ooh.
quantity time will find you quality time. You have to do the reps and you'll get the quality. Everyone wants quality first. Like you have to get ashamed. You have to get kicked in the nuts, right? So I said, I'm
Mm.
doing this. While I do it though, I'm going to get better at it and ask questions, right? So after a while, I went to a 10 dial to one application ratio. They used to have challenges where I'd come on the floor. Everyone would dial and the phones would all sing. And I would come up, bro. If you ever in a sales pitch for me, you'll feel like you're working with Russell Crowe in Gladiator. That's how I lead my troops. I'm like, get the phones to sing, everybody. They'd make them sing. Soon as someone said hello,
Bro, you're
I'd
like,
grab it.
if Patrick Bet David and Jordan Belfort were turned into like an emergent originator $1 billion empire, that's Amir Syed.
Man, I appreciate that, man. I get that almost every week, bro. But it's funny. PBD and I are from the same city in Iran. But so I would get on and I would boom. If you said hello, I'm getting your application. But it didn't always start that way, right?
Mm.
So the video I made today, PJ3, I said, I have just spent 6 hours copywriting this YouTube video script that I'm recording today. It has been excruciating. But I know one thing. In a year, it'll be 3 hours to one. In 2 years, it'll be 1 hour to one. And in
Come
4 years,
on.
I don't even need a script. I'm just going to get up and spit, right? I said, it is painful. So when we did this coaching thing, one thing I'm really good at is, bro, I detach from outcomes.
Mm.
I'm not on the right side of the equal sign. I'm on the left side of the equal sign, right? I
Inputs
do
instead of outputs.
inputs. I live in inputs. And I'm like, if I do
Mm.
this every day, I know for a fact 2 + 2 = 4. Like,
When did that shift happen in your career? I'm assuming when you started, you weren't married and obsessed with the inputs on day one, or maybe you were, and if so, where did that come from?
well, I'll tell you, it started day one in the mortgage business because most of people's fears come from a lack of money in the mortgage
Mm-hmm.
in any sales. So they're like, I need to get paid, right? I need to
Yep.
pay my bills. You understand? I listen, I completely understand. I come from a broke background. I get it, man, right? But what I told myself at that time, I said, you know what? I'm going to live at home with my parents. I lived at home until I was 27. I go, I'm going to sacrifice. I'm not going to go out. I said, I'm going to keep my nose clean. I'm not going to drink. I need to prove to myself and everyone that doubted me that I can fucking do this. Pardon my
Yeah.
French, right?
No, you're good, bro.
So I said, you know what? I'm living at home. All my friends are going. I go, I'm going to lose friends. I'm going to lose fun. I don't want to be a freaking failure, man. Right? Everyone's
Mm.
got to get to that point of like, enough is enough. So I
Mm.
lived at home. I had no bills. I had a car, right? That like I had no car
So
payment.
you sacrificed instant gratification and the keeping up with the Joneses to take the more disciplined route of building the foundation so that you could sell the right way and not have the commission
Yeah.
breath, if that's what you want to call it in the industry.
That's right. And so that's exactly right, PJ3. So when I was making those calls, I said, okay, I'm going to detach from the outcome. I don't
Wow.
really need this commission check so I can sell with a good heart. And people felt that, man.
Mm.
Like I
Because
was
you fell
actually,
in love with the process. You didn't have to focus so much on the production. But let me ask you a
that's right.
question, because I think there's
Yeah.
two sides to that, right? Maybe this is just a God-given spark, and I can relate very well to you when you say the fire. When I was in first grade, they said, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I wrote successful. And my teacher said, "What does that mean?" I said, "I don't know, but I want to be successful." Um, so I relate to the fire, but I want to talk about pressure for a second, because you made a
Mhm.
strategic move where you could remove pressure so that you could perform the right way. But in a high performing elite environment, where is putting pressure on yourself fruitful, right? Like, where is that balance between, hey, don't put too much pressure on yourself so that you have to oversell and can't treat your clients the right way? But what's the right type of pressure that if I'm an elite performer, I want to put on myself so that I can perform? Does that question make sense?
I think so. I think true winners want pressure. It's the losers that just want praise. Okay.
Mm.
So all winners naturally are going to put pressure on themselves. Like someone was telling me the other day, PJ3, like, Amir, you got this guy who's hating on you. And I said, he can't hate on me no harder than I can hate on myself. I go, I'm my worst critic, brother. I
I
go,
love
he,
that
I
response.
said, he can't say nothing that's going to affect me that I have not said to myself times 10. I am my worst critic, man. Right. So I said, it's all love, baby. Right. And I say, the pressure, you'll have different types of pressure as you climb the ranks, right? And so, you know, when I first started, the pressure for me was to make something for myself, right? So I said, okay, that's like I need to do this to just keep my dignity in my and show that I'm not a freaking loser. You understand that?
Mm.
Basically dropped out of high school. So I said, that's the pressure I'm going to put on myself, right? There's different pressures, right? Like when I've had a big company, it's like, shit, man, I don't want to lay people off.
Mm.
Like if I hired you, I got to do whatever I can to keep you employed, especially if you're a good employee. So that
Because
put pressure on
you
me
bet on
that,
me and trusted me, so I got to steward your career.
yeah, yeah, man. Like I know some business people might hear that and be like, "What? I don't operate that way, man. Maybe I'm wrong, but I've always had. If I'm like, if you're a good employee and I hired you, I guess I know there's market changes, but man, like I have a responsibility if you're a great player to find a way to do more business to keep you
Mm.
employed. So that was a different pressure, right? The other pressure I've had, is just a healthy pressure, is now in the community is my students, right? Is like these people are investing a lot of money, man, into something that you can't tangibly touch. Like you go to college, you get this degree that you put on your wall, you can look at it and touch it, and you think it's going to get you a job. Well, that's a whole nother conversation, right? But I'm like, these people are coming in, investing in their career degree. I have to get them results because I'm not a charlatan, dude. I'm not a
Mm.
snake oil salesman. Like, I really need to work hard. That's a pressure. At the end of the day, the best pressure is thinking about the people that need you and doing it for those people that care about you. Because
Yeah,
that's
the
where,
pressure of a servant leader, somebody that's thinking about who
yeah,
do I need to show up for today. That's so
that's
good, bro.
exactly right, bro. Like, I got a wife and I got a kid, and so I'm like, you know what, man, I want to live a certain lifestyle, man. Like, I look at my daughter's little eyes, I'm like, I'm here to protect and provide. Like, I'm not
Mm.
no bum. And I think, I don't want, I'm setting the example. There's a lot of bum young men in this world right now, dude.
Amen,
Like, I
bro.
don't want her on a pole and dating some loser. Like, she's seeing me. I am the example. That's another piece
Mm,
of pressure I put on myself.
I love that. Yeah, let me ask you a question. What do you think? I like just get raw because I'm just diving in.
Let's
What
go.
do you think loan officers are sacrificing in their professional growth by not focusing on spiritual growth? So the loan
Well,
officers that,
yeah.
God,
Okay, my
I was going
bad.
to say,
I
so the
think
loan officers that I don't need to grow spiritually. What do you think they're sacrificing for their professional growth?
I will tell you, I don't think that's limited to loan officers, right? I think that's everybody. And I think one of our main priorities at Go is, high performance. There is high achievement, PJ, and there's high performance. High achievers, they will do whatever it takes to succeed financially, professionally, but it always comes at a cost. And it always comes with divorce, depression, diet issues, burnout, right? And burn bridges. I was that guy when I was younger, right? And I seen it in my 25-year career, man. Okay. And I always say my 25 years is 50 years. That's how many hours I've put in, how many people I've met, right? And so what happened after the pandemic is we saw people get isolated and scattered, and now they work at home, right? And that's not how we're wired as salespeople, especially. Like we want to be around other salespeople. We go in the office, we learn from one another. And so they made all this money from 2020 to 2022, like golden era of the mortgage business, working from home. The faucet turned off like almost overnight. They're working from home. They extended their lifestyle, had to learn new modern sales and marketing skills. I mean, you talk about a like 180 turn in the mortgage business. Their marriages are failing and all that. So I said, you know what?
Mm.
It's not about how good you're doing. It's about how long you're doing good. Right. And I said, the only way we're going to be able to do
Bro, we are
that,
dropping bars on this
okay,
podcast.
all right.
Come on.
So I said, you know what, man? Like, we have to work on people's pens: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. Just as much as we work on the ingredients of our business, marketing, sales, ops, and finance, the four pillars, those pillars can only go as high, like a skyscraper, based on how deep the foundation is. And the foundation is PEMS: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, right? And so think about it. Physically, what I coach the LOs in the community and my coaches, I said, we have to hold our students accountable. They need to do 3 to 4 physical activities a week, right? Like you're in great shape. You probably work out, like you work
Yep.
out, it transcends into your
It
confidence
changes
and your
everything,
body,
bro.
everything,
Everything.
emotionally, right? They all have to have activities every week that fulfill them emotionally, right? So what are some examples? Like my wife, for example, has a lunch date with one of her girlfriends every week. I encourage it, right? I go every single Friday to the same cigar lounge from 1 to 5.
Come
Been
on,
doing that
baby.
for 10 years. And I call 10 people that I batch. I don't get to all 10 usually, and I just have conversation with them on my phone. Family,
Come on, bro.
friends, mentors. I get my emotional cup filled in when I do that. Mentally, every single morning I read 15 pages of a business book. Okay. So I fill my mind up with the good shit, right? And so I'm like, man, mentally I'm getting sharper. Lastly is spiritually, right? I BIG every morning, bro, beginning God, right? I wake up in the morning, I'm wired. I just say, thank you, God, right? Like, okay, thank you, God, right? I come in, I read one piece of scripture from John Maxwell's Daily Laws. I read it, I listen to it, I pray for 1 or 2 people. It's who I am now, right?
I love it, bro.
We
Come
yeah,
on.
so these are systems that I have in place. Like if I showed you my calendar, you'd be like, "Oh my God, this is all it's all in my calendar, intentional." You follow? Because dude, you got to remember, PJ. Like I have a wife, I have a daughter, I have thousands of people, right? That I don't want to say depend on me. I was going to say that, but they feel me.
You're
I gotta.
influencing and impacting the trajectory of their lives.
I can't do that, man. I've been
Dude, I
called.
feel that, bro. I mean, I don't even know,
Yeah.
like, we barely know each other first time we're connected, and you post something gets me fired up. I mean, I'm just one of, however many thousand people are following the content, but it's about setting the standard and falling in love with that standards over feelings. And
hmm
because so many people are looking to say, hey, what's Amir doing this week? There's a pressure that comes with that.
You know what's wild about what you just said is one of my I've had great mentors, man. And one of them had told me, he goes, Amir, as you become more successful and you go up the ladder, your ass is going to show to everybody because you
Mhm.
go higher, and what people see,
Yeah,
they see
that's
your ass.
hilarious.
You go- and I'm
So now
like,
they're all looking
no.
up. All right.
He's like the,
What's that, size 34 or 36?
yeah, bro, exactly. He goes, everyone's gonna be looking at you, man. He goes, and I'm like, what does that mean, dude? It's wild. Like when I do my big mega event, I just see eyeballs watching every move I make. The good news, PJ, is that I'm not a Hollywood actor. I've worked very hard in my life on my character development. So I
Mm,
don't slip. I don't drink. I'm happily married. I keep systems in place to keep a great marriage. Now, listen, I'm not perfect, right? I want to be very clear.
yep.
I'm not like, okay, like I'm a man, right? Like
You're on a journey, bro. We're all on a
I'm on
journey.
a journey. Yeah. But like, I realize the systems I put in place allow me to set the example for the people, not just as a mortgage executive, right? And a mortgage sales leader, but I don't want people to look at me, PJ, and I don't like these guys on Instagram that lead with their Lambos and their jets and their watches. I want the up and coming sales professionals to
Come
look at
on.
me and say, that is the example. Super successful at home and super successful in life. Like I got guys I won't ever mention on this, but there's guys you definitely know and your listeners know. These are famous IG guys. I'm like the Godfather. They call me
Come on, baby.
and they ask me for life advice, right? Because they're feeling the hollow, they're feeling the shallow, right? They come to me because they know I will love on them and I'll never judge them. And I say, dude, all
Come on.
those
Love
things
covers a
are great.
multitude of sins, bro. Come on.
But you're a married man. You got kids. So they see me on IG, and I put up my stories how I do a daddy daughter date day every Friday, how I do date night every single Friday night, how I work out with my wife every Friday morning. I capture what I'm doing. They see it, and I say
Mm.
that's what you want to gravitate towards, man. You know?
So good, bro. All right, so let's transition. I want to go deep on the winning loan officer, right? Of what it looks like to be elite and winning at a high level in 2026, 2027, however long anybody's listening to this. So this is the High Level People podcast. We're doing two things. We're talking to high level people and we're helping people go to higher levels. So if
Okay.
I'm the everyday loan officer, maybe I'm doing 2 loans a month. Maybe I'm stuck at 4 loans a month. Maybe I'm at 10 loans a month, but I'm just saying, how can I start swinging with the big boys? Let's break apart, what does the life of a winning loan officer look like? Mindset, non-negotiables, habits. And I love what you said about high achievement versus high performance, because I've seen that. I've seen the $10 million month with a divorce and
Hmm.
angry kids and 200 pounds overweight versus high performance, right? So
Yeah.
let's go into the winning loan officer and just start to break apart what that looks like to you.
Okay.
Habits, mindset, break it apart for me.
Well, I'm 6 months into a what I believe is going to be a 18-month journey of writing the greatest book ever for loan officers. Okay.
Come on.
Yeah. And so I meet every single Monday with my copywriter at 1 p.m. And she's written 2 New York Times bestsellers. And she told me the other day, she goes, Amir, this book is going to send shockwaves. She goes, you're due for more books. I talk about all this in the book. So this is right now, June of 2026, you guys. So depending on when you listen to this, you'll know where the book is at. But I talk about this, PJ. So you asked, what does it take right now for loan officers to win and position themselves to continuously win? Well, we talked about the PEMS, the physical, emotional, mental, spiritual.
Yep.
The number one thing I'll tell you, and everyone has probably heard this, you're the average of the 5 people you hang out with. Shout out to the Honorable Jim Rohn, the godfather of personal development, of Tony Robbins,
Mm.
all these guys. If you hang out with 5 millionaires, you'll be the sixth millionaire. I believe in that. Okay. I am a walking proof of that. My entire company, Go Coaching, this flag of the logo is from Proverbs 27:17, is iron sharpens iron, one person sharpens another, right? Like anything I wanted in my life, PJ, like I hang out now with honorable fathers that have really good relationships with their kids. I hang out with honorable husbands, right? That I know have been married a very long time. Now that doesn't mean I'm like better than anybody, like, but I gravitate to people like that, right? I gravitate towards very successful business people, right? As well. Just naturally through affiliation, I assimilate because I see these things. Now check this out. I'm going to give you the opposite. Okay. My wife's family is from a small town in Arkansas, 18,000 people. Okay. My wife's Armenian and Jordanian. She's in Arkansas. Don't ask me how that happened, right? But I'm from a big city. I'm from Chi-Town, right? Every time I would go out there, I still go out there now once a year. I don't know how to say this in the most elegant way, right? The average median income in this town, they're amazing people, is like 52,000. There's nothing but fast food restaurants everywhere, right? If it wasn't for my amazing mother-in-law that whipped me up amazing Middle Eastern food, but guess what? Almost everybody's out of shape.
Mm.
There's really no hope in this town. A lot of people are hooked on drugs. There's a big drug epidemic there, right? The probability of me being fat and out of shape and on drugs is a lot higher than it is in where I live now, my environment, right? So number one, if you're listening to this, you're not going to be able to do it yourself. I don't care. Okay. You're going to have to get in a community of upward minded, forward thinking, successful loan officers. And that's why Go Coaching has proliferated, right? You become who you are. There was a famous study done. They took low producers, put them around high producers, just had them sit in the same room. Within a year, their production went up 30%. They took that
The
same group,
proximity.
put them next to low producers. Their production went down 30%.
Wow.
Same market, same company, same computers, same floor, nothing. Bro, there is power in proximity. I'm a very big believer
So
in that.
what? How radical would you recommend getting? Right? Because I love the implementation and I love the just massive action to create the life and the change that you want. I'm listening to this and I agree. Okay, I don't like the 5 people I'm around. What's a
Mhm.
radical move or a next step that I can make to shift my community and my environment so that I can honor principle number one of winning, of getting in the right rooms?
Well, you talked about, we're talking about your circle, is your inner circle. If you don't audit that circle, it'll become an oval. It'll start to stretch you down, right? So what happens is, we have to audit and say, show me your friends, I'll show you your future, right? So we have to say like, okay, are these, like people that are really embodying what I want to be?
Mm,
That whole thing of fake it till you make it, I think has been really like misconstrued. I think what has to happen is we have to always put ourselves in positions, especially with the people we're around, that embody what we want to be. We may not be there yet, but we'll naturally get there. Like I have some really successful mentors, PJ, and when I get off the phone with them, I feel my IQ has gone through. I just feel better. I'm like, gosh, the way this guy speaks, you understand? Like, whoa, dude, right? Like, I just feel so smart.
yeah,
Like
you're
he's like,
expanding your capacity just through communication.
yes, man, right? So I think the loan officers have to think, what do I really want? I did this free coaching session with an older man 2 weeks ago. Okay. I'll save you the details of how I met him. Gave him a free 30-minute one-on-one. Okay. Got on and I dug deep. I said, hey, whatever you share with me, feel safe. Okay. That's why I'll never mention his name, right? So we started talking. I said, well, what's causing you unhappiness in your life? Right. He goes, I just see other people doing more in production than me. And he goes, and I just know I can do more. I said, okay. I said, good to have that fight. Right. So, but if you stay there, you're going to get really, really discouraged and depressed. Okay, you can only stay there for so long. I said, do you mind if I ask you some personal questions? And I promise you I'll never judge you. I asked for permission before I asked, right? He said, yeah. I said, are you married? No. Have you ever been married? No. Kids? He's like, no. I said, okay. Do you want to be married? He goes, not really. I'm cool where I'm at. I go, okay, fine. I said, are your parents still alive? He goes, yeah. I said, do you have a good relationship with them? He goes, I do. It's okay. How about your friendships? Do you have 2 or 3 really close friends? He goes, yeah. But the way he said, yeah, always pay attention to how people say words. I
Mm.
said, okay. I said, how often do you hang out with them? He goes, we meet every Friday. I said, where do you hang out? He goes, we hang out at the local bar. I said, what do you do at the bar? He goes, we just watch games and stuff. I said, what do they do for a living? He started explaining, go, do you really admire them? He goes, no. He goes, we get there and we just kind of talk about stupid nonsense and stuff like that. And I said, and I asked a few more questions and I said, we'll call him John Doe. I said, John, you're talking it out loud. You're having some mortgage talk therapy with me. There's a lot of men, especially, they just hold it in and they don't talk about it. I
Mm.
said, what have you learned just talking this with me? Because great coaches, PJ, as I've learned, I don't tell. I let people, I guide them. I'm the neck, they're the head. I guide their head. I have them come up with a
Mm.
solution, right? He says,
Wow.
I really don't have anybody around me that's really lifting me up. that's really just elevating me. I said, that's the problem, bro. I said, you got to be around people like me that will challenge you and help and lift you up. Great leaders lift up, right? So that was a wildly impactful moment for him. So to answer your question originally, PJ, my number one answer for LOs here is if you're really serious, right, you're going to have to join a community like Go, or
Come
you're going
on.
to have to be around really successful LOs that you aspire. Because here's what'll happen. You will get discouraged and depressed because you're going to have a void that you can't fill if you're not around the right people. So being around in the right community is an absolute X factor. So I'll tell you one last thing. When I was in sixth grade, I was a very bad kid. I moved around a lot and I got into a really bad fight. I came home, black eye, and my mom, mama knows, child. She said, what happened? I said, I was playing basketball. She knows. She was basketball. So she dialed. I still remember my childhood friend's phone number. We were in an apartment building. She dialed the third floor, Charlie Orham. I won't say the phone number, right? But back in the day, we would dial numbers, right? And his mom picked up and she says, this is what happened with Amir. Is Charlie home? Because he's my best friend. She goes, let me find out. And she went to Charlie and says, did something happen to Amir? Now, Charlie's a snitch, okay? Charlie Orham, if you're listening to this, man, you could at least cover for me. But he just broke down right away. He goes, he got his ass beat by a bunch of kids. Called my mom. My mom's like, what happened? And I'm like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, who told you, right? I'm like, I'm going to kill Charlie. That snitch. And I said, I'm going to the school dance tonight. She said, you ain't going to that dance. What happened, I found out on Monday, is thank you, Charlie Orham. Those kids I got into a fight with, they came to the dance with knives and a backpack, and they were going to do something really bad to me.
Wow.
My mom found out. She told my dad, I don't care what it takes. We need to get this kid out of this environment. I speak Farsi, and the language of Farsi is a beautiful language. It's like poetry. There's a saying that says, you can't put a white glove in dirt and expect the dirt to turn white. The glove will turn dirty. So my
Come
mom
on,
said,
bro.
we need to get this kid out of this environment. So we moved to a very high affluent neighborhood 1 mile away in the north side of 1 mile, man, right? We lived in a shack. These kids are living in mansions. It was very traumatizing for me. I saw one fight in 6 years where I was getting into a fight every day for 6 years. These kids were talking chess and debate and this and going to places like
S&P
Aspen.
500.
And I'm like, my whole life changed being around these better
Wow.
kids,
Environment.
right? Environment,
What are
man.
you doing today to challenge yourself to still get into bigger rooms? I feel like it probably gets more difficult as you continue to grow and you elevate the circle and you elevate the goals and the targets and the revenue. Like, how do you stay engaged today, even personally, looking for personal growth?
Well, I have in my iPhone notes, I have something called PBAs, Personal Board of Advisors. I call
Mm,
1 to 2 every single Friday, and I just call and
so good.
I just I have a system around that, right? So what happens is, fortunately, when you invest in your own skills, our earning potential is a direct manifestation of the value we bring to the world, right? So I invest time every day to increase my marketing and sales and leadership skills, and then I'm able to monetize that. So as I make more money, I'm able to reinvest into myself and level up, right? So the biggest investment I ever made was 10 years ago. I joined a coaching community that was 30,000 a year. Well, I said, dude, I got to go all in, right? I'm going to invest in myself. So that was the best investment I made. It changed my entire life, right? And because I
Come
invested
on.
in me, now I'm able to take care of other people. Jim Rohn, who I mentioned earlier, the godfather of personal development, has one of the best quotes I've ever heard. He says, PJ, you take care of you for me, I'll take care of me for you. The better I take care of myself, the better I'm going to be able to impact you,
Come on,
right?
man.
So I said, that's the first thing I'm going to do. So now what I do at this stage in my life, I have different responsibilities, right? And it'll change. I have a spiritual mentor who is a honorable, godly man. I mean, I give his name. His name is John Gordon, wrote the book Energy Bus. I joined his
Yep.
mastermind. He
Come
gives
on.
me very good sage advice. around how to be a great man, a great husband, a great father. There's not X's and O's with him, right?
Come on.
He's taught me a lot about leadership. So I stay tethered to him and his community, right? There. I know what to get there, right? I was coaching for about maybe a year. I just ended that with a gentleman named Todd Herman who wrote the book Alter Ego. He coached Kobe Bryant. He's an inventor of Mamba mentality.
Phenomenal book.
Phenomenal
I've read
book.
both.
Oh,
Two amazing books.
okay,
Energy
yeah.
Plus
So,
and Alter Ego.
okay,
Amazing.
okay. Let's go, PJ3. So I said, I need help with how I'm leading my coaches. I have 17 player coaches. Like these are all stars. I need to understand how to get their mental mechanics right. Pour into me,
Mm.
right? So now I also joined like highly X and O masterminds for the space that I'm in, which is really called entrepreneurship, right? How to basically transform people's lives in new modern ways of education, right? In their
That's
space. But
beautiful,
there's
bro.
so many things behind the scenes that I'm learning in the business role. So I have different rooms that I'm in and basically what I need, but not too many.
You have leaders for your pillars, the different pillars of your life of what you're looking to grow. You go and find a North Star of who can have the most impact on this area. I love that. So just to recap on the non-negotiables for loan officers, because I think we got a third bullet point we can fill in. Number one is we got the PEMS, right? So we got the physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. You got to get you right. And I love that Jim Rohn quote. Let me focus on getting me right so I can help you, and you focus on getting you right so you can help me.
Yes.
The second is upgrade your community. So join a community like Go, get into a mastermind, get around some killers. If there was one pillar or one bullet point you could fill in as kind of your core three, right?
Mhm.
Winning in 2026, what would you make that third pillar to winning as a loan officer? So I'm getting myself right. I'm getting in the right
Mhm.
community. What's my
Yes.
third non-negotiable?
I'm going to give you guys my G6 Playbook, which is really going crazy right now in the mortgage industry. So I want everyone listening to this right now in 2026. You have to start positioning yourself to win in the future.
Mm,
And that's going to take how you're going to be reputation rich on AI. Okay. I think a lot of people are looking at AI in terms of how it might replace the loan officer. It's not, it's going to supercharge the loan officer. Okay. But what they're not looking at, PJ, is they're not looking at how the consumer uses AI to select the loan officer. Okay. They're looking like the other way. It's like, hey, bro, look that way. You understand? So there's 6 moves that they have to start putting in place now. So when people go to a chat, a Claude, a Gemini, Copilot, Grok, these places, and they're vetting a loan officer, verifying a loan officer, right? That loan officer's name becomes endorsed through AI. SEO is dying. GEO is spawning, right? So people are going to chat. The study by NerdWallet that recently came out and said almost 50% of all home buyers have or will be using AI to pick their loan officer. Okay. And I got data upon data upon data. Okay. For all you data freaks out there, right? So how do we become indexed? How do we become reputation rich? Right? 6 moves. Number 1 is a consistent, what I call NAP. Name, address, phone number across all your online profiles, right? Because what uh, uh, AI will do is it will geo index you because people are how they're searching right now. I asked all the platforms. I hired a research assistant that paid thousands of dollars. So I'm like, I'm not going to ask AI about AI. I'm going to go find out, right? The number one most searched terms of consumers asking for loan officer information, one of them is, I'm a first time home buyer in Louisville, Kentucky, who's a great loan officer. People are
wow.
hyper locally searching. So it'll go out quickly and it'll search who's the most consistent guy that has a Lexington, Kentucky name. So you have to do a full audit on your social. That's the easy lowest hanging fruit. Okay.
So good, bro.
2 is you're going to have to be on a site like Reddit. Okay. So Reddit, you can have a couple profiles. You can have an anonymous profile and you can have a public profile, right? Reddit is one of the highest used search engines in the world. Quora
Wow.
and Reddit. People are
No, I wish
asleep
I
on
had
Reddit.
something to respond to other than wow, but that's what happens when you just get bars dropped left and right.
Oh,
It's the natural
good.
human response. So that's what I'm coming up with.
Let's go. So with Reddit, you will learn like how to basically go in there every day for 15 minutes, join the prolific groups where home buyers are, and they're asking really good questions, and you can answer without the sales pitch. Then you can work in the DMs, and then what'll happen is all the AI platforms are searching Reddit to see how qualitative your answer is. That's 2. 3 is YouTube. Brokies are on TikTok. Low intent consumers are on TikTok and IG. Like, I always joke with the social media platforms, PJ. In high school, I don't know how it was for you, but we all congregate in the rotunda in the beginning of the morning. You had the badass kids smoking cigarettes over here. You got the jocks. You got the really smart Asian kids in the corner, right? You got the Indian kids and the Persian
And
kids,
then you got
right?
the
I can
group of
say
kids
that,
still
bro.
trying to figure it out. They're not sure what
Trying to
to
figure it
go.
out, right. So, and they got the professors and teachers. When the bell rings, all the super smart kids go to YouTube. All the badass kids go to TikTok. All the cool jocks go to Instagram. All the teachers go to LinkedIn, right? The analogy
So
makes
good,
sense.
bro. Love
But
this.
dude, when people go to YouTube and they're looking for mortgage education, they're sticking around because it's long form. They're really serious. Now, who owns YouTube, PJ? You know? Google. Who owns Gemini?
Google.
Oh, Gemini is one of the biggest platforms. So when people
So good.
search
So it's pulling from the platform in which the content is found. It's a
from
layup.
YouTube, it's going to say PJ Crescendo has this video and this and that. So you got to start making one YouTube video a week, right?
I love that.
4, right? 4 is going to be write a book.
This is a
Right?
freaking masterclass, bro. Anybody listening to this is a $25,000 mastermind you're going to get for free by just listening to this podcast. So go show Amir some love once you listen to this episode, and maybe make a donation if he's got a nonprofit in exchange for the wisdom.
Hey,
All
my
right,
free shit's better than their paid shit. I'll never forget
come
that,
on,
okay?
baby. All right, what's number
So,
4?
so write a book. It's never been
Okay.
easier, man. My gosh, I have no idea how people are now writing a 100-page book augmented with AI, not AI slop, but it's like DSCR for like mortgages for dummies, right? Like, you guys should all be writing a niche book about something, condos, right? Like, so you want to buy a condo, it should be the title of the book. Like, if I was full-time doing loan, I would have 5 books by now, right? In my email signature line, right? Like, that's my sales is all about increasing your status.
Come on,
You understand? And so what's AI going to do is like, this guy wrote a book, right? And it's never been easier, man. It has never been easier to self-publish a book, right? 5 is going to be niche content. I'm sure you've heard the saying, riches are in the niches, right? Like, I have a new saying, which is, don't make me niche slap you, right? I see a lot of Walmart LOs. They're like, I'm doing everything for everybody. Bro, your content on IG and your blogs, you should really niche down in something. Like, what I believe I'm really good at is I have loan officers in my community, former police officer. I'm like, you're going to be police officer turned loan officer.
Hometown hero, captain of America.
And double down on it. Be the absolute best, right? So you should have a lot of niche content. The DSCR guy, non-QM guy, condo guy. I help registered nurses, firefighters, police officers. You could still do different types of loans, but at least 3 out of all your 7 pieces of content should be niched down around one specific niche,
So
right?
good.
Like, what I was really well known for in Chicago when I was a mega producer, PJ, is I was really highly regarded for 3 types of people because I talked about it a lot. 2 to 4 unit buyers, because I owned 100 units before the age of 30. So I knew how to buy property and I loved the programs and products and I was passionate about it. So people know you're buying a 2 to 4 flat, go to Amir Syed. High rise condos. I was in Chi-Town. I was very good at navigating condo questionnaires, understanding that, right? 3, I was exceptional when it came to highly sales commissioned first time home buyers. So all my financial advisors that were working with that niche, I would prospect them. I knew how to talk their language, the Salesforce guys, all that. All right. So I niched down. As I wrap up to 5 and 6, this is the other low hanging fruit, man. So what have I said as a nap, consistent nap, name, address, phone number, write a book, whatever. I made my orders on here. Reddit,
YouTube,
niche content.
Don't get niche
Don't
slapped.
get niche slapped, right? And the last one is
just a hope and a niche.
Yeah.
Come on, baby.
Hey, last one is Google reviews, man. Dude, I'm telling you, people are sleeping on this, man. One of the ways that I get my LOs massive amount of business in Go Coaching, I force them to get to 55-star reviews on Google. And I have
Come
a
on.
very specific tactic that allows them to get there. Then I have a company that augments it and supercharges it through AI.
Mm,
Bro, the amount of non-realtor represented qualified homebuyer leads they get off their Google reviews is ridiculous. Then
come
I
on, bro.
coach them on how to get those referrals out to agents. Those are the 6 things that not only will get you AI rich reputationally, but will allow you to preserve
Absolute freaking
yourself.
masterclass, bro.
Mhm.
G6. Thank you for that. Not only am I going to implement that myself, but I think hundreds of people are going to hear this and thank you for that playbook. But
Yeah.
then again, they say you don't pay for coaching for information, you pay for implementation. So if you need help implementing, be sure to reach out to Amir. All right, bro.
Yeah.
Two final questions as we wrap today. So first is activity. So we got a lot of strategies. We got a lot of high level strategic rooms to walk into, my community, different types of content. But let's just back to the basics: calls, texts, one-on-ones, events. What does your non-negotiable activity paradigm look like for either LO or sales leader? Like, do you ever have a minimum? Hey, I have to have at least this many phone calls a week. Do I got to have this many one-on-ones? Like, let's just say my internet dies and all I got is a cell connection to go and make 20 grand a month. What does my activity need to look like on a weekly basis?
Well, it's interesting you asked this because remember how I told you earlier, I put 6 hours in a script to shoot a YouTube video.
Yep.
It was exactly on the topic you just asked me.
Come
Okay.
on. Let's go.
Right.
Thank you,
So
Holy
I have,
Spirit. Pulling all the
let's
wisdom
go.
out from what I'm here working on.
It's wild. So great questions, by the way, man. I have a saying that it's no activity, no business.
Mm.
No activity, no business. But spell the first one as KNOW. No activity, comma, KNOW, no business. If you know what activity you should be doing, right, you will know
Mm.
the business,
Come on.
right? No activity, no business.
No business. Yeah.
You got to first
Bro,
know the
that's
activity to
good.
know your business,
That
bro.
is good, bro. Come on.
Yeah. So there is 5 indicators of a very successful business. When we get in the car, we have a dashboard, right? Speed limit, speedometer, oil level, all these things, right? I've really given this thought of what has been my number one, maybe 1A, 1B secret to my success was a broke immigrant kid that barely has a high school degree. How did I, how have I gotten to this level? Well, first of all, my mindset has always been kick ass like a black belt, but learn every day like a white belt. Right? I have a lot of humility, man, but I got a lot of swagger and a lot of humility at the same time. You follow? So the other thing I tell you is the coaching community I've been involved in has obviously been a huge part. And I'd say 1C is I know my activity and I do the activity. So that's
Mm.
why I spent 6 hours, invested 6 hours on this because I'm like, there's a really big need in the industry of like, what do I need to be doing? Right.
Yep.
So every business has 5 indicators. There is labor indicators, which is your activity indicators. What I need to do, labor. Okay. There is leading indicators, PJ, which is leads and pre-approvals. These are leading indicators. Depending on how many leads I have and how many pre-approvals I have, they're going to tell me a story, right? They're going
So
to lead
good.
me to a conclusion, right, bro? There's lagging indicators, which is basically how many locks I have. Like if I know I have 10 lock loans, right, in the pipeline, I go, these are lagging indicators. I know what's going to happen. Every mortgage company executive wakes up in America, first thing to look at is how many locks came in yesterday.
Yep.
That's a lagging indicator. Duh. 4 is landing indicators. I landed the plane, I funded deals. The one now no one ever talks about is loyalty indicators. What do I do after? What's my 2 pieces of activity I do after I fund a loan to increase my LTV, lifetime value, and decrease my CTA, cost to acquire, every single client. So I make sure that I retain these clients. So let's talk about the labor activities because it's the top of the funnel.
Yep.
This is the highest income skill. And when the YouTube video comes out, you guys can go, oh, go check it out. I think it'll be a masterpiece because I really break this down. Your number one reason for existence as a loan officer is to promote and prospect yourself every single day, is to market and sell. Bottom line. You can,
So good,
I
bro.
don't care. If you're listening to this, you want to have a debate with me online, we could debate me all day long. Okay. A lot of you have been taught wrong that you think being the best at low is what's going to get you paid. Nah, it's the best known that beats the best 7 days
Bro,
a
you're so
week.
good. Yeah, the amount of phone calls you made is a lot more important than how many times you ran AUS. Because 19 other people can run AUS. Only one person can capture the heart of a top agent that's waiting for their next loan officer to swoop them off their feet.
And dude, in the world of AI, those two skills, marketing and selling skills, are going to stand out like a big ass zit on someone's face,
Come
right?
on.
Like AI is coming to augment the doing of the loans, right? Like basically AUS is AI well in advance of itself. It came out in 1995, DUNLP, right? Like AI is going to be AUS on steroids. It's going to structure loans. It's going to give underwriting decisions. But what's going to separate you is your ability to connect with people, right? Your ability to be seen at scale. So the activities are two buckets: marketing and selling, promoting, prospecting, pre-suading, persuading, right?
Bro,
So
come
every
on.
day
Bro,
you got
thank you
to,
for this. This is so freaking good, bro. Like, to somebody that loves the industry and really loves the intricacies of what it takes to be great, your commitment to the craft of being able to create the frameworks and the buckets, that these generalities that just float around the mortgage universe, and actually being able to organize them and not have it look like a Staples 1990 yellow gray cabinet, but like a nice, sleek, class A office cabinet where people actually want to go in the drawers. Like, bro, good
like
job,
the
bro. When you
analogy,
go to get a
bro.
cigar on Friday, I want you to upgrade. Whatever you usually get, it's time to treat yourself and get the nicest cigar in the shop for the work
I
that you're
already do
doing.
that, PJ. I already,
Okay,
maybe
all
I'll
right.
get two. Maybe I'll get
Yeah,
two
get
of them, you
two.
know?
Smoke one for me. Like, 4 hours has turned into 8 hours, and we're
Let's
going
go.
on
I
date night
got
2 hours late.
you. Let's go. Oh, I can't do that, man. I can't do that. But the marketing activities, bro, is you cannot you cannot depend on your marketing department to represent you anymore, man.
Come on.
You were able to skirt that for years, right? Social media was a big warning sign for you, right? It was the canary in the coal mine, as they say. Like it was a warning for you that, you need to get yourself out there. AI is not going to allow you to do that. It's going to force you, right? Your new CRM and your new business card is your online personal brand presence, right? And so
Mm,
look at this. I wouldn't be here if you didn't follow me on LinkedIn. You
yep.
understand? Or wherever. Like it just expands, the visibility. And so
Come on, baby.
pick one platform, post once a week, one by one by one. Learn. I suffer through taking copywriting courses online, right? So I wake up every morning, I have deep work for an hour and a half every single morning. Right? I get in, I learn a new skill. So I'm like, well, if I'm going to be successful as a coach, I can't wink at the girl from across the bar in the dark. I gotta like show people I know what the hell is going in my
And
brain out of
and
my
and if
mouth.
she's got a
You know,
boyfriend, I got to be that much better.
I gotta be that much better. I can't walk
Come
over there
on.
sloppy and drunk. So
Come on.
so I took copywriting courses, and I'm like, how do I take my intellectual property in my brain, and how do I properly articulate it? So I took copywriting
Wow.
class. I'm like, I'm gonna start with Facebook. I'm gonna put out the content with the right hook, trailer, takeaways, call to action. Right? That's the framework of a great copywritten post. So I started doing that. So one piece of content every day, a week, on one platform. Then I got to two, three, four, five. Market yourself. Right. So
Come
create
on.
one piece of content every day on one platform. Now, the content should have three E's. Okay. Some of your content should educate. Some of your content should entertain. Some of your content should empower. People should feel PJ teaches me. People should feel TJ inspires me.
Come on.
People should feel PJ intrigues me. So what does
Mm,
this mean? You can't be Mr. Mortgage Man 7 days a week, right? We need 3 to 4 educational posts. We need one about your life, man. You're a human being. Like, empower someone,
Come
right? Like
on.
the video I did today, it's like, I'm really stressed out about this YouTube thing. Like, I'm struggling with it. I was honest. I'm like, if you're going through this, just trust me. It's all going to work out. You're a human being, right?
Come on, baby.
The last one is, educating. I do fun videos, man, sometimes. Like, I'm like, like dancing and stuff. Like, you don't need to twerk, right? But it's like, I'm showing myself like playing ball. I have a big collection of Kobe 5 and Kobe 6 basketball shoes. I play basketball on Sundays. It's like a big thing for me now. I take a video of my Kobe 5s. I take a
Come
half
on,
court
baby.
shot. Some go in, some don't. I'm entertaining people, man. People are like, I like him, right?
Yep. Well,
Then
I'm
you
crazy,
gotta,
bro. The first post you put up that really shifted my perspective of who you were was I wake up every day, I do this, just kidding, I'm not perfect. And that really shifted the perspective because when people see momentum being built for influencers or people leading the industry, they think it's all rigid. Like the rigidity is there's some truth, discipline equals freedom. But I think the truth about discipline is it's not about fitting it into the box. It's just about the commitment to the standards and the lifestyle. So, all right, let me
yeah,
ask you a final question as we wrap.
let's go. Let's
When it's
go.
all said and done, you're walking off stage. There's 25,000 people in the crowd. You're side by side with Maxwell and Gordon. You just delivered a speech. It's Life Surge 2.0. The crowd's going nuts. Chi-Town's booming.
Let's go.
And we're walking off stage. What
Hmm.
does Amir Syed want to be known for? When it's all said and done in the marketplace, what do you want your legacy to be?
Leaders lift up others.
Mm,
And I want people to always think of me as he lifted me. He lifted a lot of people.
so good, bro. Bro, do you mind if I pray for us before we wrap?
Let's go.
Come on, baby. Let's go. All right. Dear Heavenly Father, I just want to thank you so much for this morning. Lord, I just thank you for technology, the opportunity to connect all over the world. I thank you for this opportunity of fellowship. I thank you for who Amir is in our industry. And Lord, this morning, I just pray for divine wisdom and understanding over any business decisions Amir needs to make, any new doors that need to be open, over anybody that's in his community that's looking for a breakthrough. May they hear this content. May they extract a word of wisdom from Amir to have a breakthrough and a Kairos moment in their life.
Mm.
Lord, I just pray for blessing and favor over their family. Maybe we lift you up in this moment, that anybody that is curious about you, they can listen to this conversation and get inspired to do more with their life. We love you. We praise you. We honor you. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for that, bro.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
Yeah,
Yo, thank
let's
you so
go.
much for your time, bro. This was a freaking masterclass. I'm honored that you responded. I'm honored you gave the opportunity to come on the show today. And I'm really excited to hear the feedback from everything that you shared.
Thank you for having me, PJ. And for everyone listening to this, no matter where you are in your life, uh, you're loved. Be around good people like me and PJ. Iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Future is really, 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 really positive for all of you if you stay around positive people.
Amen. Thank you guys so much and hope you have a blessed day. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of the High Level People podcast. If you learned anything from today's content or if it made a positive impact on your life in any way, please feel free to subscribe on your favorite platform. More importantly, if you think there's somebody in your life who would benefit from today's episode, please shoot them a link, encourage them to do the same, encourage them to subscribe because every week we're committed to adding value. I look forward to seeing you soon. Hope you guys have a blessed day, blessed week, and let's go.